40,000, 24,000, if that's what it was.
Yeah.
Does that allow us to get caught up in some of these areas?
Hopefully, I mean, it's all a little bit of a guess, but yeah, it depends on weather. Yep.
I mean, even if we move the maintenance, general maintenance, equipment maintenance back up to your number, that only alters by, I mean, we're only talking $6,500, so that doesn't change my calculation of where we need to go, so that's fine. If we've got a specific project that needs happening, body, whatever, I'm fine with that. But I really do think that the four big items need to be looked at, and I'd recommend a little smaller increase than the road agent's requesting.
Well, I'm gonna go on winter maintenance. I've gone back since you've been road agent. And my training is that there were 22 storm incidents. And when we have bad storms, it comes out to about $8,500 a piece. Well, 22 times, actually 8,600 is 190. Winter maintenance with the 10-wheeler, last year and a half, you've got the projects done, the roads sanded and salted and plowed 4 hours, in 4 hours less time. And when I talk to fire department, ambulance drivers, school bus drivers, they talk about they're glad to come to Tuftonboro. Perfect example, the people in Canaan Valley said with the 4-ton dump truck, single axle, you get to the top of Canaan Valley, it looks plowed and sanded, but boy, it's an ice rink down. Your big truck is able to go all the way to the end of these roads in one swoop and get it done. It means less accidents for the fire and police to go to. So I have no problem with the 190 for winter maintenance. I want to ask you, the painting of the buildings, where does that show in your budget, or is that a separate budget item?
I'll be honest with you, in the past, I've never really had any control of the,
Is that buildings and grounds outside your budget?
yes,
And you have a written estimate on that, correct?
I do, I actually have it with me. Yeah.
Okay, and what is that estimate? Is it 86?
No, it's actually $6,150.
And that's to paint all the buildings that are up there and repair any broken work.
Correct.
But that's not in your budget, that's in a separate budget, correct?
Yes.
What about the heating system? Have you researched the heating system?
No, I thought we were putting that on hold last time we talked about
Okay.
that.
Have you done an audit for the building to see how it is insulation-wise and stuff like that with the infrared camera?
No, we have not done that.
Okay. You know, when I walked through there, I was struck that this equipment needs to be ready to go. And if it's 38 degrees, you know, it takes those trucks about, the hydraulics, what, a half hour to warm up before they're usable? I'm not saying it has to be 80 degrees in the building, but,
No, we never changed the temperature to 50.
okay. That's, okay, road striping. What roads do you plan on striping this year?
We're going to continue with the same 4 roads, unless otherwise.
Okay, and do you have, what do you pay by the linear foot? Do you have a bid on that?
I always plan on just a little bit more than the previous year, because they don't generally tell you the exact number this time of year.
Okay. I'm asking you, is there any reason why you can't do Beach Road? It's been a few years before that's been done. Any possibility of getting an estimate to pave, to line Federal Corner Road? That's a major road with the camp, and it's a feeder road.
I could certainly, yep, I can get an
And
estimate for that.
the other suggestion that was made to me is do High Street, a little section of County Road and then New Road. Those have never been done. Can you get those estimates?
I can, you know, it's, we're
Yeah,
adding
what
to
are
the
your
budget
thoughts?
like constantly here, though.
Yes.
And it's like, I thought we were trying to reduce this.
I mean, just running my numbers, we're at $428,000, which is, I think, where we gotta be. I don't know why, I mean, I'm not prepared to spend my morning sitting around here talking about a $3,500 line item.
Okay.
I mean, we really need to concentrate on what we're doing, I think, or move along. didn't have breakfast, so I apologize. Sound a little grumpy. But, I mean,
Folks, what's your pleasure?
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve a road agent's budget for 2018 of $428,600.
What is that figure?
$428,600. And I can explain the winter budget to you if you'd second it.
I'll second.
Okay. You mentioned $190,000. Using my calculations, he's skewed his numbers a bit because his winter's off and his fall is off. Using my formula, he's got $194,400 in his winter budget at this number, $428,000. $81,000 in his summer budget and $27,000 each in his fall and spring budget. So it did push that winter number up. I backed it, the highway equipment maintenance budget back up to 20 so that he could accomplish his maintenance.
For the purpose, would you go through and list each?
Sure. Okay. Road agent, $32,000.
Okay?
Highway garage telephone, $700. Summer maintenance, $81,000. Winter maintenance, $194,400. Fuel, $10,000. Highway equipment maintenance, $20,000. General expenses, $2,000. Catch basins, $3,500. Roadside mowing, $17,500. Culverts, $2,500. Tree removal, $12,500. Apron paving, $5,000. Road striping, $8,000.
Well, the land's great.
Spring maintenance, $27,000. Fall maintenance, $27,000.
They're only working on.
Sign replacement, $2,000. I'd be happy for anybody to tell me my numbers are off.
Bill, your thoughts?
I think that sounds reasonable.
What did that come out, that came out to the 400?
$428,600, and I did it on a calculator. You'll have to adjust something if it's wrong.
Yep.
It's not too far.
Any other comments?
No, I'm gonna work with whatever you guys recommend.
Well, I think, I mean, the other part of this equation is we're gonna have to run it by the budget committee.
Well, that's right. You're going to take the budget committee, and if there are some things that we're missing here, then, you know.
I can go through it and check to see if there is something. I'm sure I can live with it, but I
And
can.
if it's, you know, in your opinion, if it's cutting too far, then you make the case to the budget committee. Going in there and say, you know, these guys are really squeezing me down. It's important that we maintain the roads well, and obviously deal with storm events in a way that will allow us, people to travel safely on the roads. And it's not this board's intent. Speaking for the board, although not per se, that we do anything that creates an unsafe situation. The question is, you know, where do we go with budgets? We did last year, as if memory serves, increase the amount of money that you put in your budget based upon where your spending patterns have been the previous year. And this would represent another increase. Hopefully it'll get us closer to where we need to be on the.
But within $500 of his most expensive year, I mean, if you look historically,
Yeah, right.
2013 was $428,000 spent. I don't know where you got the money from. That's what was spent, so I think it's a realistic number, it's not to be
Yep. But
crazy.
it doesn't allow for any extra work at the same time.
Well, it depends, I mean, once again, we're dealing with nature. If you have an easy winter, then you got a little money left over to do something else. And I think having, I mean, Lloyd had a list of specific projects, and having specific numbers for those projects is helpful going forward, so that we're not saying, okay, let's just up the summer maintenance by $10,000, and hopefully you'll pick a project that we agree with. You know, it would seem clearer to me if we had a list of things that we wanted to get done that would drive the budget in one direction or another.
That makes sense.
Doing it on budget day is not the day to do it.
Okay.
All right, great.
Anything else on,
We're gonna vote?
yes,
All right.
your motion
I motioned, you seconded.
for 428,600, correct?
Right.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in and sitting tall.
Thank you.
Do you want to do culvert assessment or do it?
Or do we want to, Jim,
It would beat you up enough. Come on back.
culvert assessment?
Round two.
Up, round two?
Clay, I know you were supposed to get to you in 5 minutes.
That's right.
Could you-
This is just the report.
Oh,
Do we
yes.
get the final report on that?
Yeah, I believe we have it right here. I have
It's,
it.
it's, it's
Yeah.
it's the draft report, and they're looking for comments from us before they finalize it. If there's anything that we see that
Okay.
is glaringly wrong, or gee, we thought there was gonna be some discussion of this and there, that kind of
Have
thing.
you read the report?
I did read it quickly. I haven't got a detailed thing. I want to find out a little bit more about as far as which culverts we're talking about. But yeah, I did read it.
Did they inventory the culverts? Is there a number or a GPS, does anybody know?
They did inventory the cost.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did. Yeah, it was over 200.
222, correct? Yes.
Yep.
So the original question was a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
I see a map on the back, map on the last page.
Many
Well,
maps.
yeah. Well, what we don't have as part of the report, but as part of the output of the survey, my understanding is there will be a database that has all of the information in it by culvert. Okay? It's not a printed
Yeah.
part of this report, but all of the stuff that they refer to in the summary statistics in here will be in this database.
So we can pinpoint culverts.
So we can go
We have
in.
listed.
Right.
And put those on. the
Right.
project.
So we can go in and, for instance, the 14.3% of our culverts that are rated as poor, which is to say 29 culverts, we're going to be able to go into that database and identify, these are the 29 that they say are poor, and here's the reason that this one is poor. Here's the reason that one's poor. You know, is it squashed on one end? Is it deteriorated? And again, I'm not, I don't know specifically what the detail is there. That's the whole idea of doing the inventory, is that you have an overall list of all this stuff. So,
Yeah, and start at the bottom and
yep.
whatever looks like it needs work. and take it forward.
Yep. You know, I'll be honest with you, it's not too bad, I didn't think, in total, as far as 14%. I think we've actually, been mowing that number for years, so we're getting better, I think. From my first start, I noticed a lot more.
Well, these, for example, didn't talk about Tuftonboro Corner where the water comes down and doesn't even go into the culvert that's on 171, it goes across the road. It doesn't talk about...
These are town roads, these are not state roads.
Right, but it doesn't talk, well, the Durgan Road is a town road. It doesn't talk about Federal Corner Road where the water comes down and the nearest
Oh,
septic.
I see what you're saying.
Right? It doesn't even
If there
address,
isn't a culvert, there's no discussion.
it doesn't address the issues of Harvest Lane that go,
Well, that one's been corrected, so.
but there's still sediment going.
Oh, the sediment wise, yeah, the code have been changed, so.
So what is your assessment?
Well, I mean, I appreciate it, you know, all the information we got here, and I'm actually hoping that now that we have it, we can help us correct them.
How do we correct it?
Well, each one's gonna be different. I don't know, some of them could be as simple as we need to lower it if the outlet's too high on the far end. Each one's gonna be a little different, but I think we've been doing it as we go, you know, we're fixing these as we go and replacing culverts every year, so I think we're,
Now, for example, Lisden Road, how do we correct that? It's over 3 acres over the last 30 years.
and which one is that?
Lisden Road.
Okay, yeah, that's, unfortunately, that's not our town road that's maintained, but the water coming from that, right,
Comes from,
from Ledge Hill?
yeah, comes off of Ledge Hill, goes under and
Yep.
goes, onto private property.
We didn't realize originally too that there was a catch basin down there, but at least we now know that and we clean it. It wasn't, you know, on our, we had no record of what we had to clean for catch basins originally when I first started. We weren't even aware of that until it was brought to our attention.
Does it make sense for the town, starting a year from now, to go to a catch basin system? For example, on Ledge Hill Road, for example, on Curtis Road?
Well, we have some, but we do have quite a few up there, but maybe we could have a few more.
Catch basins with sumps, for example, get the bad stuff. It's a big thing in New Hampshire right now, catch basins and all of that. And as I go over your budget, I think we spend between $75,000 and $90,000 a year just cleaning out ditches. And it's like plowing snow, we do it every storm. As I go through your budget, you do some in the winter, you do some in the summer,
It's continuous.
it's continuous. I mean, the other day I saw the guys out blowing leaves off of Phineas Graves Road, and off of Lang Pond Road, so
Yep.
it's gotta be done. It's like snow removal. I know of no other alternative, so. Well, in other words, this is a topic for discussion, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Jim?
Police department update?
I'll be right
What's
back.
Kay doing here?
He was added to the schedule.
Well,
'Cause we
somehow,
had-
somehow I got removed. This is my normal.
We didn't have
Come on
enough to
down.
do.
Why don't you come down, Clay? You're here.
Solid waste this year.
Let's get it over once. Let's only have one meeting this month. Thanks.
Thank you.
Be quick, hopefully. Monthly totals for October, we had 8 solid waste compactors and 13 CD containers shipped out. We did ship out one 30-yard steel tin cans container, 3.25 tons. We got $255 in revenue out of that. We moved 3 30-yard plastic containers out. One TV container cost was $1,050. 2 times scrap metal loads. They did it, brought 2 trucks up, picked up 18.5 tons. We got $1,158 in revenue out of that. Total revenue at the end of October is approximately $85,416. This is approximately $26,000 higher than the same time last year. We're shooting very hard to try to get to the goal that I set when we first came on board, was to get $100,000 in revenue. And I don't think we're going to make it, but we're going to be close, hopefully. We have submitted the 2018 budget, and it's been through the budget committee, and everything's done as far as that goes. And we submitted 3 CIP entries, and listed them down there, weight scales, compactor renovation, and the 2 dates there, 2019 are for compactor 1, 2023 is for compactor 2, and the storage facility building 2020. The specific monthly information for each one of those things is on the second page. And the revenues listed out on the bottom right is the total at the end of October. And the last page is the year-to-date summaries. And I don't have I just got the bills from Waste Management. So tomorrow I'll be able to put in the actual tonnage for solid waste, CD, and plastic. And it looks like, as far as on the budget lines, we're pretty much on track. There are a couple things that are over, but we've already talked about them. And other than that, everything looks good. We're getting ready. I'm going to have a 15-yard scrap metal container moved out. I'm going to move the tire container again. We've had a run on tires this year. Normally we go through 1 container, and this will be the 3rd one.
You think what it would be if all the ones from Larry Door's property came?
Exactly. But we're, I've held off expenses on a couple other lines, so our total budget won't be exceeded. So.
Did I see some poles show up?
Yeah, there's a couple up there, but I think 1 of 2 things happened. Either somebody came on and dropped them off,
Or staging area?
according to Rob said that they looked like they were old and not new ones. So I think somebody may have come.
I was wondering if Spectrum was,
Well, that's my initial thought, was that they were presetting some positions, but Rob said those poles looked like they were old.
For the snowmobile club to rebuild the bridge.
Ah, there's your answer.
solved another one.
Solved another problem. Thanks, Jack.
Any questions for Clark?
Good.
Okay, thank you for coming.
Thanks, Blake.
Nice job. Chief?
Missing in action, he was just here.
Thank you.
Yep.
Chief Shadori?
Is he coming?
Joe just popped his head back up.
Uh,
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yes, you too.
Thank you, Blake. Yep.
While we're waiting, can you tell me the road agent budget for last year?
409,200
$409,000.
Good morning, Chief.
for 2017.
How you doing?
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Give that to you.
Thank you.
Just- So the first part's the renewal one that I turn in. It shows activities side by side. The second part, the 3 pages, is the records analysis and report, which is basically where I derive the categories down at the bottom on the page. That says page 2 at the top. The top page just says Tufton Borough and what date ranges I use, that sort of stuff. Page 3 is the IBR statistics that Selectman Wood had asked about before, and that's basically what the rest of that printout is.
IDR being an acronym for,
Incident-based reporting.
thanks.
It's the general categories that FBI puts stuff down into. So, of course, the copier cut off a few letters, like the alcohol's missing the A down at the bottom and that sort of stuff, but that's,
One each.
Excellent.
one each for simple assault,
Simple assault, burglary,
involving alcohol.
driving under the influence,
Yeah.
drunkenness, all other offenses.
That's what they involve, those things, yeah.
Right.
So simple assault involving alcohol, yeah.
And a lot of trespass.
There will be one more trespass added, because I think it happened on the 29th, but it was reported after the first.
Does that go up during hunting season, or is that how you list that?
Not unless it's.
Or is this like a neighbor versus neighbor thing, or what?
It'd be somebody going onto somebody's property after being told not to, that sort of
Right.
thing, so that's the one that's coming up.
Kind of a domestic situation.
No, it'd be like a neighbor thing, or somebody who was told not to. It was, I think, a family member actually was told not to come on this property, but it was not really a domestic so much as someone who was not a party to the property visiting, and they shouldn't have. But anyway,
Was the accident, was that on Brown Road? The 1029?
yes,
Pretty significant, right?
took out a pole and yes, person fled the scene, that sort of stuff.
Well, at least nobody got hurt. Right.
Nobody reported getting hurt. How about that?
There you go.
And did you have a burglary or a theft or something?
Yes, that was on the 26th. That was working with Moltenboro on that. We're doing a search warrant later this week on it.
I know you have to be careful because it's a work in progress, right?
Yes, Moltenboro did arrest 2 people for receiving stolen property. But we expect more charges to come forward from that burglary. So they charge them with the receiving because I actually caught them in Moltenboro with the items. But once we do the search warrant, we expect more charges will be filed. I believe they have, on those 2 receiving charges, they have I want to say it's this week, they have their court, because it's felony first, so we had to kind of get some of it in and try and do the search warrant on the rest of the charges, but it's a significant number of charges, at least for one of the 2 people already caught, and we're trying to figure out who the other 2 were.
So it's a sponge for your time, obviously.
Well, it's been tough because Moltenboro, that officer had taken some time off, their detective, so trying to match my schedule with his but Wednesday looks like our schedules will match up to finish.
Well, keep up the good work. Anything else for the chief?
Good.
I have something.
We have and I also noticed the 20 Mile Bay, the signs are put in, the new signs.
I wanted to compliment you on that, yeah.
And obviously, we got the letter out for the 19 Mile Bay area, so, and the signs are clear now, they say do not park between signs with the arrows for which end is, so, in fact, I had somebody pull over in 20 Mile Bay and I told them, you're right in front of the sign. Because there's one
Park
spot.
here.
Yeah, exactly.
And there is a parking area on the other side. So.
Yeah, so.
How are you coming on the signs or the town ordinance for parking at the docks? And
I haven't worked on that yet.
okay, I
I
know
will
you're busy,
be.
so. I have something positive and complimentary. Bill and I attended Thursday night the New Futures banquet in Concord at the Capone Center. And Chief, you won the Nick Halius Law Enforcement Award for your work, outstanding work in substance abuse policy and enforcement. As I said to Bill afterwards, these are the times the days that it's fun to be a selectman. So on behalf of the town of Tuftonboro and the board, congratulations again. I have the booklet here if you want to look at it. So, anything else for us?
No, that's pretty much it. We're just trying to wrap up some of the training for the end of the year to get that done, and so we have our Narcan reinstated. Well, we have it till the end of the year, our Narcan license, but we have to finish that training. That's the sort of stuff we're working on, just getting some of that end of year training done.
A stream of consciousness here. I understand the drug take-back that one of your officers did on the 28th was one of the more successful ones. So.
Yeah, I haven't got a poundage back yet. I need to reach out to them to find out. Because you get to give, obviously they know how much they got from the state, but the breakout for each town they got, and I forgot to put down, under the community, we did the Beards for Bucks last month, and also Pink Tide for breast cancer awareness. We did those last month. So, that was, well, we got going on, just finishing up, like I said, our training, and also some people have time to take off before the end of the year, so we're gonna work on that. But that's it.
Good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. Just a thought to the board here. Could we move continued business library warrant article up? So,
Mr. Hunt, a break?
Sure. Break.
Sure.
You want to come down, sir? Thank you for waiting.
We don't need to entertain you all morning.
I've sat for a lot longer meetings than this time. Which warrant article you want to talk about first?
You choose, sir.
Well, there are three that are going to be, that are, you feel are going to need to be addressed. If you like, we can talk about the new building first. Thursday, last week, officially, as the board of trustees, approved the addition to the library for the 2018 warrant article with a dollar figure of $1,920,000. I have project costs, I have bound estimate costs, if you like to have copies of that, or at this time, or
Does the 1.9, that was an established cost, it wasn't just an estimate?
No.
Okay.
It's a preliminary.
we were, yes.
Put them up by the library trustees.